pleasure of playing on the Ellington Band for 3 weeks. Lawrence Brown had some real serious dental. I think he was getting dentures and stuff to play. And I got to play in the band for a while. I was scared out of my shorts. Because when I got on the band, I found out that there were hardly any charts. 3/5 of what the Ellington Band played was stuff that they knew. It was stuff that they created amongst themselves. That Duke and the band actually created stuff for Johnny Hodges. You know, Jeep's Blues is only just like a sketch. You know, I mean, it's amazing. When I looked over, and fortunately, Quentin Jackson, who was my cultural godfather, says, "Don't worry," he said, I'll keep you straight. I'll keep you straight. I'll let you know what's coming on. And he clued me into everything that was coming on, so that I was at least able to survive, you know, during the thing. Because it really is, when you talk about a jazz band, the best jazz bands have a language within themselves that nobody else knows. Just to give you an example, John Philip Sousa's band, now, just to digress for a second, had its own kind of language. And the music that the Sousa band played was generic to itself. In other words, Sousa, for instance, never wrote down on his scores. One of the most difficult things that people have to face when you drag out an original manuscript, you know, on John Church Company or one of those publishers of a real old-time Sousa march, is what to do with the dynamics. And where a lot of the major drum accents are, they're not there. They're not there because Sousa was the only one that really wanted to do those. He wanted to keep certain things a secret. Well, the same with the Ellington Band. There were certain things that band did that weren't on the chart. Like with the Basie Band, for instance. There's that chart on All of Me that some of you have played, all right? There's a lick in there after well, the Basie Band didn't play that. Is what they did, but that's not what the chart says. You see, it's not what the chart says. The bands did what they did to give them their own personality. That's how they worked that. They really did. It's their own little choreography that they did. I found that out when I played on Thad Jones, Mel Lewis's band for about 3 or 4 years. They had their own way of doing things. What the chart said was one thing. What Thad had us doing was another thing entirely. So that's really what I'm saying. Man, when I went on that Ellington, I was not prepared to deal with what came at me. If Quentin Jackson hadn't have been there, I'd have been history. Because he said, look, just relax. He says, you know, I'll sing you the licks as they go along. Whatever you don't have, there's a sketch sheet somewhere. I'll find it for you. Well, he did. It's quite an experience. Music is a great experience. You know, I'm going to be, as a matter of fact, the day after tomorrow, I turn 60. And I've been doing this a while. I just, you know, sat down a little while ago and realized I'm doing this a little while. You know, I'm not a newcomer. I used to be the new kid on the block. I can remember like it was yesterday when I would come into a situation. I was just a young kid who came in, you know, and wound up, you know, through one way or another amazing some of the older players that were there. You know, the thing that actually was most amazing was the fact that I knew 1,000,000 tunes. I got a list of stuff. I don't know if I have it in here. I'm going to pass it amongst you and just give you an idea of what I draw on when I go to do gigs. And a lot of the stuff I'm playing these days isn't even on this list because there's just a lot of things. Some of the stuff you will recognize and some of it you won't. There's a lot of Ellington things and Strayhorn things that what got me going in New York was learning the bridges to a lot of the tunes that nobody wanted to learn. You know, a lot of times when you play a club date, and I did play a bunch of them while I was there, nobody wants to play the bridge on Prelude to a Kiss. Or, worse than that even, Sophisticated Lady. That's the toughest one of all. I've seen more vocalists go down in flames on the bridge of Sophisticated Lady. You know, one of them was on Duke's band. Her name was Yvonne. And she would get down to the end of the bridge,